The young king. King Anu was the oldest of the kings that from assumed the throne vacated by King Sekrim. He was 645. Despite his age, he was sharp and ably effected reforms, and within 2 years the Sumiks' trust with the leadership was restored. Korks instituted several controls and transferred their wealth and riches at From, while they maintained few hundred tons of gold, silver and stones at Leka for the basic needs of the country. The army was cleaned from corruption, and all those found guilty with King Sekrim were replaced by those loyal to the kings at From. Igothansia recovered until King Anu died from an illness and was replaced by King Sumrus, who continued his programs and policies. During reforms at Igothansia, the Red Land was out of their radar. They suspended sending criminals for exile, but instead built prisons inside their army camps for them. They knew that King Sekrim and his followers lived with the help of the Bikes, and they left the Red Land for the exiles. Years passed and King Sumrus was replaced by a very young Sumik, Asiv. He came from the family of fishermen, raised by the kings at From until he was installed as the new king of Igothansia. He too continued the programs of his predecessors, but unlike the two former kings, Asiv liked festivities that brought color to the land. In one festive activity at Uvia, foreign traders composed of Bikes from the west and Garadians from the far south were invited, and amongst them were War and his wife Laura from Bixa. It was held inside the palace, attended by the kings at From, the Korks, and several Iboths and officers of the army. It was the very first time that it was done, a classy party where every rich kind gathered, danced and drank wine. Laura was wearing a black silk dress, and on her neck hanged some diamonds and a few gems. Her earrings were large and made up of shiny smooth round blue stones that were gifts from War, who bought them from the Vamoths. As she danced, several wives of the Korks and the Bikeses were attracted to her earrings. The lights that it emitted were unique, as it reflected a certain distinct glitter and radiance that occasionally attracted King Asiv to glance at her. He too was pleasantly disturbed by its soothing lights that reflected within the smooth palace walls, glasses and ceilings. Laura's earrings bore unique warmth and glow that made her an instant celebrity. Each wife and even husbands was asking her where she got them, and War would always be there to answer for her, telling them with pride that those were his anniversary gift to his wife and that he bought it for a horse from the Vamoths. Many husbands offered to buy it from War for as much as 20 times the price he paid for it, but he did not yield, telling them that the stones were priceless like his wife. War's wealth was so much that he could be tempted by the offers, and everybody knew it, but when it was the king of Igothansia who made the offer, he did not think twice but offered the stones to the king as gift. Laura was in disbelief and got enraged at War. She threw the stones at him and left the banquet against disregarding the hard pleas and explanation of her husband, who promised to replace the stone. King Asiv laughed and told everybody in the palace that War was his true friend who would do anything for him. He couldn't stand seeing War lose his wife and declined the offer, but however told everyone in the palace that whoever shall bring him the same kind of stones would be given 500 horses for each, a ship, or a large land in Uvia. King Asiv knew that the blue stones were very rare ones, for he had not seen anything like it. Such kind of a stone was not in the books that he read, and even the From kings were convinced of its rarity that they agreed on its price. This triggered the start for the exploration and hunt on the blue stone, as it became the most expensive commodity in the world then.